Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining Equinoxe Television on our primetime newscast. We're live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Tonight, Muslim faithfuls across Cameroon have marked the end of the month of Ramadan with special prayers calling for peace, unity and solidarity in the country, grappling with insecurity. From Banga in the Littoral region to Manfi, Kumba in the southwest region, as well as the northern regions of Cameroon, thousands of Muslim faithfuls turned out in large numbers under tight security, using the sacred occasion to pray for stability in Cameroon, in Iran and the rest of the world. That is our lone story tonight. Thanks for choosing to be informed by the #1 television network across Cameroon and the Central African sub-region. You're on to Equinoxe Television, and I'm Armstrong Sander, live from Equinoxe Central News Desk in Cameroon's economic capital city, Douala. Now, we take on our lead story to say that Muslims across the nation Cameroon have joined their peers worldwide to mark the end of the holy month of Ramadan with special prayers calling for peace, unity, and solidarity in a country grappling with security. From Banga in the Littoral region to Manfi in the Meme division, Manfi in the Manu division, and Kumba in the Meme division of the southwest region. Like most parts of the northern regions of Cameroon, thousands of Muslims turn out in numbers under tight security, in some cases using the sacred occasion to pray for stability and renewed hope. We have details with Innocent Azay in the following report.
Muslim faithful in Cameroon marked the feast of Ramadan with morning prayers as they conversed on prayer grounds across the national territory. In Banga, in the Mungo division of the Littoral region, they prayed for unity amongst Muslims and peace in a country characterized by violence and injustices.
Allahu Akbar.
All Muslims, as every day, all Muslims will be one. Islam no division, Islam no tribe, Muslim is Muslim. So we have to be one community. That is what our Prophet recommended us, and that is what Allah recommended us. We have also to be people of peace. We have to consider peace in our country, in our homes, in ourselves. We have to live in peace with all other communities that live around us.
Why this will not find? If you get all the content on when we don't come, you don't get no nothing. I can tell you, God make peace all the time.
In Manfi, Manu division of the restive southwest region, where security dispositions were put in place, Muslim faithful turned out for the prayer session massively. They thanked God for seeing them throughout the 1 month fasting period that was not at all easy.
Rahman Amadou Issa, I'm the Imam Central for Manfi. So concerning this day of today, we are celebrating the Eid al-Fitr here in Manfi town. Normally, fasting is a period of difficulties for us because we have a lot of constraints, like taking care of our families, taking care of our the poor in our communities, the needy. We do all these activities. So, and the fact that we are on fasting, we don't have that sufficient energy. Then we do our best to see that we meet up with all these activities. And after this, we have all right to celebrate this day.
We fasted for 30 days, and this Ramadan is like a celebration to say goodbye to the fasting. And we believe after this fasting, people have cultivated like a new habit to pray 5 times a day and also to remember Allah. So this day, what is expected of the youth is to remember the poor.
The Imams in Manfi urged the faithful to promote solidarity, peace, love and unity.
So they should go about their celebration peacefully, and they should not cause any havoc in the society. They should not go about causing trouble, because this is a day of happiness and joy. And it's our best utmost wish that there is peace and tranquility and there is unity in the society at large.
These values were re-echoed by the mayor of Manfi, Robertson Tabenchong Asho, who hopes to achieve the developments of the municipality through them.
This is what we are preaching every day, unity. Without unity, we cannot develop ourselves. I think that unity is a way forward. Today, as we celebrate the 8th Afit, we are reminded of the importance of peace, tolerance, and coexistence. These values are essential for the growth and harmony of our municipality.
In Kumba, Meme division of the Southwest region still, security was beefed up to ensure a smooth morning prayer session at the Kumba Amusement Park. In attendance was the Senior Divisional Officer for Meme Tundong Chamberlain and Gregory Mewano, Kumba City Mayor. Their presence was deemed symbolic.
You yourself, you know, say so today you just get like a newborn baby. We got Almighty Allah, we then make a delivery.
In Bonanjo, in the heart of the economic capital city Douala, the Camp Beto prayer ground at Mbanga Pongo in the Douala 3 municipality, Muslim faithfuls prayed for peace and called on authorities to ease tensions falling from the presidential election across Cameroon. We have details with Sadiq Chakuchu in the following report.
Muslims across the world are celebrating today the Ramadan feast. Some Muslims in the Douala 2 subdivision gathered at the Camp Beto ceremonial ground to mark the end of the holy month of Ramadan in a solemn yet celebratory atmosphere marked by prayers, reflection and renewed call for peace and social cohesion.
The main message we receive from the speech of our Imam is a message of faith. Fasting during the 30 days of month of Ramadan is to acquire faith, is to obey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to do what so who were before us did. So after that faith, we are very, very sure that a very good Muslim will keep being in a faith during the whole year. Stop himself from doing any evil. Stop himself from lying, from comploting, from doing anything that will offend any brother.
In his message, the Imam urged the Muslim community and the wider population to embrace unity and moral responsibility.
Bon, le message était axé sur la gratitude et la reconnaissance qu'il fallait manifester.
We have come here to tell the people to be united, peaceful, tolerant and forgiving. I expect them to be morally active.
Nous avons lancé un message de paix, une exhortation à la paix pour la fin des conflits dans le monde entier.
In Mbanga Pongo, Douala 3 subdivision, the Imam used this occasion to stress that the essence of Ramadan goes beyond fasting, pointing a deep personal transformation and societal impact.
Le message, c'était un rappel pour les frères fidèles musulmans de penser, n'est-ce pas, le jour de la résurrection. Le jour, n'est-ce pas, de la rétribution, le jour de récompense.
In a context marked by conflict in some regions and countries in the world, the Ramadan feast was an occasion used by Muslim faithful across the world to demand peace.
And still at the prayer side in Mbanga Pongo in the Douala 3 municipality, the presiding Imam, just like the Muslim traditional ruler Ali, that is His Majesty Ali Mahmoudou, used the opportunity to pray for authorities in Cameroon, calling on those of the city of Douala to consider the challenges faced by the people of Mbanga Pongo, notably that of the deplorable state of the road. They say that their kids go through hell getting to schools out of the Mbanga Pongo municipality. It was also a challenging moment for Muslims as they were fasting to get out of Mbanga Pongo to be able to get food necessities in other parts of the city of Douala. They, however, prayed that authorities be guided with wisdom. Now, from the prayer grounds, we visited those activities, how to measure just how the feast is unfolding in several homes at the Yunus Paraísos, Majesty Yunus Paraísos Palace in the Makepe Misoke neighborhood. Kids use the feast of Ramadan to perform their skills, of course, in the mastery of Quran, but also singing songs and praises, and also expressing their gratitude to their parents, but also thanking Allah for making it possible for them to successfully go through the holy month of Ramadan. They were kids of the Quranic school in New Bell. Now, we asked this question to the Muslim community leader, just the significance of the presence of the kids, but also what was the key message during prayers in Makepe Misoke. Take a listen to him.
The best, and that the best will come down to you. You see, now concerning the war in the world between those army countries, Iran, America, I'm asking myself, why, how, in the month of seeing the water for the blessing cause or the was for economics matters, the work for petrol. The two parties, where can they go to attain their own their personal objective? We don't know. We just need to pray, because all what we have is to pray.
Yunus Paraiso is the Muslim traditional leader of Makepe. That's in the Douala 5 municipality. Now, we leave the feast to talk about something else, to say that the Supreme Court of Cameroon has ordered for a completely new appeal hearing for the 10 Anglophone separatist leaders. The recent decision was taken by the judge of the Supreme Court of Cameroon, Justice Abomo Marie-Louise. Annabila, staff lady, has more in the following report.
As she ordered for a fresh appeal for the 10 Anglophone separatist leaders, the president of the Supreme Court in Yaoundé, Justice Abomo Marie-Louise, played down on the last hearing on September 18, 2020 judgment of the Central Regional Court of Appeal, which had confirmed life sentences on the Naira 10 by the Yaoundé Military Tribunal that was in 2019. The Supreme Court, in its most recent hearing, has sent the case back to the appeal court to be heard over again by a completely different jury.
Ces juges ont agi, nous pensons, en leur âme et conscience et en leur serment qu'ils avaient prêté.
Barrister Emmanuel seemed just like Barrister Keremuna. All of them, lead counsels for the appellants, qualify the decision as applaudable.
Pour nous les avocats, mes confrères et moi, nous nous réjouissons d'une telle décision.
The Naira 10 individuals include Barrister Kimeng Henry, Dr. Mfongala, Dr. Orgok Ntui, Dr. Cornelius Kwanga, Dr. Fidelis Ndeche, Professor Awasum Augustine, Barrister Bless Shufai, Barrister Iyambe Elias, Tassan Wilfred, and their leader, Sisiku Ayoktabe. They were all arrested in Abuja, Nigeria on January 5, 2018 at the Naira Hotel, brought to Yaoundé, where they were charged with hostility against fatherland, secession, terrorism and rebellion. The 10 former Southern Cameroon's leaders earlier filed for an appeal on March 2020. The case has been on for over 8 years now, while most of the arrested are still in detention in Yaoundé.
This is happening at a time when most Cameroonians have been expressing optimism that the three arms of government are progressively indicating their desire and willingness to function independent of each other. And within the legislative arm of government, it is still joy among Cameroonians after the election of a new president, who called it Speaker of the National Assembly and President of the Senate. One of these reactions came from a youth leader and a supporter of the CPM political party, Sekuma Edison, who says it is just the practical implementation of the promises of President Paul Biya. Take a listen to him in the following extract.
I knew it was going to come up. I knew it was going to have been realized. It can only be to those that had doubt, that would, that would take it out, that did not believe. As a leader, that I have trust in him, I knew that such decision would be realized. All I can say, my reaction to all that as a young Cameroonian, as an economic operator, I can only say thank you to his head of state, to the head of state, and also to thank the new Speaker of the House of Assembly and the President of Senate. That kudos to them, and that they should keep in mind that it has to deal with the decision that President Paul Biya has always given in all his speeches, that it is the time for the youth. And I also want to appreciate the Speaker of the House of Assembly because he has shown it beyond reasonable doubt, even when he was just recently elected. You could see what he demonstrated, holding the hands of one of the young youths, who is a parliamentarian by name Barrister Honorable Tafomi Ngala. You could see him having closer to him. That shows that it's for the rest of the youth to copy and understand that it is time for the youths now. That's a sign, that's a signal that the youth should have that in mind, that it's their time. The future is theirs for the youth, and to understand that, as President Bobia said, it is a time for the youth now to take the baton in command and to manage the affairs of the government of Cameroon. So what I can say is that long live to Cameroon, and God bless us all. Thank you very much for that your question.
Sir Kuma Edison is the CPTM succession president for Bafmen, that's in the Fungom subdivision of the Menchum division in the northwest region of Cameroon. Now we're staying in the northwest region to talk about this devastating accident where at least 6 persons have lost their lives in a devastating road accident. The fatal crash occurred at the mile 18 Akum Hill on Thursday morning after a truck reportedly lost its brakes and plunged into multiple vehicles. The impact was catastrophic, leaving at least 6 persons dead with several others severely wounded. Details with Mustela in Bamenda.
6 people have been confirmed dead following a devastating truck crash at Mile 8 Akum on Thursday, March 19, 2026. According to eyewitnesses, the truck reportedly suffered a brake failure earlier in the morning before plowing into several vehicles along the busy stretch of road. The impact was severe, leaving a trail of destruction and panic at the scene. Rescue teams quickly arrived to evacuate the injured and transport them to nearby health facilities. Several victims are currently receiving treatment, with some reported to be in critical condition. The accident caused heavy traffic disruption as authorities struggled to manage the situation and clear the wreckage. Locals have described the incident as tragic and avoidable, stressing the need for regular vehicle maintenance, especially for heavy-duty trucks operating along hilly and densely populated routes. As the community mourns the loss of 6 lives, calls are growing louder for stricter road safety checks to prevent such tragedies.
That's all for the first part of the news. Stay with us for Talking Point, ladies and gentlemen. And on Talking Point today, ladies and gentlemen, we are receiving Ben Fominka, who is the CEO of Lekudu USA. We're glad he's accepted to talk with us on Talking Point and, of course, analyzing community issues in Cameroon, especially in the conflict-stricken northwest and southwest regions. Ben, thanks for accepting to be guest on Talking Point tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong, for having me. It's my pleasure to come on your platform.
Now, we're starting. You are the chair of Labour and Cultural Development Authority, Lekudu USA. You are in Cameroon. The first question, tell us what brings you to Cameroon, especially to the English-speaking regions of Cameroon, where you hail from, in the southwest region.
We have a lot of projects, and one of our functions is to oversee those projects and coordinate them. So that is what brought me to Cameroon.
Now, we're glad to have you. Now, you went, as we saw on media reports recently, to Menji. Menji is the chieftain of the Libialem division, of course, Fontem subdivision in the southwest region of Cameroon. Now, with reports clearly indicating the possibility of an effective return of life to Menji, contrary to an initial narrative. Tell us more about this return to Menji, which was one of the areas badly hit by the Anglophone crisis.
Thank you. As you said, it's a possibility. But for some of us, I've been going to Menji since 2014. From 2014, in December 2014, I was in Menji. Last year, March 2015, I was in Menji. This year again, I was in Menji. And there is no place like home When you're in Minji, you feel like you're at home, and it's a privilege for me to go down there, see my people, interact with them, and then feel at home.
Now, what are some of the Lekudu projects ongoing in these parts of Cameroon on the pipeline? You know, development projects now are just precious to the people of the northwest and southwest regions who've seen their development projects stagnating for over the years.
Lekudu USA has a couple of projects. Before we came in, we had a 5-year blueprint project, such as solar electrification, education, health, road projects, and we oversee this project. And most of these projects that we just mentioned are taking place here in Cameroon. So we oversee all these projects. Some of the projects that we have on hand and pipeline are projects in the United States, as you can see. So it's a privilege for us to run this project and see that they are run properly to help our people return home, such as school. You cannot go home without good schools at home, such as healthcare projects. You know, when you give people health, you give them life. That is our ideology. That's why we invest a lot on some of this project to make sure that our people benefit much on them.
Your experience certainly will be a motivating factor to these or those from these parts of Cameroon who are out of the country and also living in other regions who might have been having the fear of going back, even though wanting to now. Tell us more about the Lekudu Health Outreach. I remember before contacting you to be part of guests on Talking Points, I watched an interesting media report on this important health outreach that brought some sort of joy to your people visibly as they were speaking on media reports.
The Lekudu Healthcare Campaign is a project that we initiated 5 years ago, and this year was extraordinary. 2 years ago, we saw that with the population going back home, there was no point of executing this project again in Chang as the previous 3 years ago. So last year, a pick up extremely at home, but this year was so important. We saw that our people, they needed this help because of lack of finances, lack of healthcare facilities, or lack of possibilities to go to long distance for healthcare. So we saw it very important and necessary to bring it closer to them. So we at least run health projects 3 times a year, or 2 or 1 at least, because our last year, 2014, early 2014, we had a health outreach at the Upper Lebang JA before the health campaign that came in March. So in 2015 now we had a health outreach in Takwe to benefit the Lower Lebang people before the health campaign this year. So we saw it very necessary to bring the health care closer to our people, due to lack of finances and lack of possibility transportation to go to long distances.
Preoccupied by the road network, Equinoxe Television recently followed the Southwest Public Independent Conciliator in one of their visits to the Lebialem division. The roads was practically really bad.
Yes, the road project is very important to all of us. Without a road, we cannot even be able to access Fontaine for this health concern, or for schools, or for any project. So it's a huge project for the entire Lebang. This is a project that we initiated with nothing, but I can assure you that we have spent more than 180 million. And the people of Lebang and friends, they will doubt how we're able to raise these funds. But with one heart and one accord, you can move mountain. That's just what I can tell you. So actually, I was privileged to go through Ngundeng Injet Road. They are doing a marvelous job. Right now, they are doing backfilling. And we also saw how important this road is, based on the fact that from Chang to Fontaine is 30 minutes instead of 1 hour 30 minutes through this road. So we are so happy, and we are doing everything possible to make sure that this road goes through.
You are joining us live from Buea, I can say midway between the United States of America and Menji in Fontaine. What can you tell your people at this moment who follow you on Equinoxe Prime Time?
I will really thank each and every one for the support that they are providing for this road and infrastructure project. Thank all the people of the bank for their support. Thank my stakeholders of Likudu USA for the marvelous job they are doing, their support and the financial support that they are providing. Without this support, we will not be able to do what we are doing today. And also, I will plead with them that rendezvous is in Virginia 2026, July 2026. Without their support and without their coordination, we will not be able to move this project together. So please, all sons and daughters of the bank in the United States, with friends, should make sure they attend our next convention in Virginia, July 2026, so that we can learn how to move all this project together.
Beside you in Buea is the Lekudu National President, Barrister Nkea. Now, I want to ask this question to Barrister. Barrister, the images I saw of Menji are a sharp contrast to the popular narrative that Menji, Fontaine, and almost the entire Libya Lem division is completely deserted. Who are those then pushing this narrative, and for what gains?
Thank you, Mr. Sander. I think that the turnout that you saw was partly due to the fact that the Lebang people are resident in Lebang land. That most of them are resident on Lebang land, on Lebang soil. But there has been this misconception that they are all litter, they deserted their fondom. Rather, what you saw are people who are scattered within the fondom, people who are now doing farm work around Takwa area and all that. So there are actually people in the fondom, and the point is just reaching out to them at the appropriate time and giving them appropriate notice, and you see Leban people in Menji every other time.
Now, Barrister Nkea Emmanuel, beyond your functions at the level of Lekudu National, you are a well-known Anglophone elite who's been very vocal since the beginning of the Anglophone crisis, and you've been following the crisis unfolding from 2016 to where we are today. You understand, like I do, that most localities, including the Libya Lem division, have suffered with abandoned public projects, some contractors being dishonest with regards to executing projects in these localities, the north and southwest regions. Now, are you people considering a strict follow-up of some of these projects that were given to your locality that have not been executed for over the years?
Yes, I think in the last General Assembly meeting that we had, that Lekudo had in Yaoundé on the 31st of January 2026, there was actually a resolution taken to that effect, because we had noticed that Lebang Fondom had become a black hole where projects that are earmarked for the livelihood of the people are abandoned and the money is siphoned. So we had actually taken a resolution to pursue all those contractors or delinquent contractors who have abandoned projects and received the money. And in this regard, we have actually started collating data to initiate the relevant legal actions.
Now, Barrister Nkea Emmanuel and Ben Fominka are Lebang elite, of course, of the Menji area, that's in Fontaine subdivision, Libya Lem division, southwest region. They both joined us live from Buea, chief town of the southwest region of Cameroon. Gentlemen, thanks immensely for your time, for accepting to share your thoughts with us on this edition of the Primetime News on Equinoxe Television. Viewers, we thank you for being faithful all through Monday. Now, we taking leave of you to give you a rendezvous on Monday on same platform, but news continues on Equinoxe. Don't go away. Our next edition of news will be in the French language. That will be at 8 p.m. As for me, rendezvous is taken for Monday. Meantime, enjoy Equinoxe, a special feast of Ramadan to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Have a nice evening. Enjoy our weekend.